In observation of World Anti-Microbial Awareness Week, WAAW, which was observed from November 18th to the 24th, Collective Prevention Services, CPS, in collaboration with a number of stakeholders, held a health panel discussion for the public to learn more about antimicrobial resistance, AMR, and why it's a global concern and what impact it could have on St. Martin. The health panel discussion was held at the University of St. Martin, USM, on the evening of Thursday, November 24th. Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, VSA, the Honorable Omar Otley, was present at the health panel discussion and delivered a few opening remarks.
As we raise awareness to antimicrobial resistance, AMR, it is very important that we educate not only ourselves but the populations on the effects of overdosing of antibiotics. The body is an amazing thing. The body can adjust, the body can adapt. And what happens with AMR is when the body adapts, the antibiotics no longer become effective. And with that, it can prolong curing, probably even cause death. And I think it's time that, the world has it as a global health issue. St. Martin is joining the fight. We are raising awareness, and I think we need to continue to raise awareness on infection preparedness, continue to promote hygiene, washing of hands, preventative measures. And basically, it's just to our population have, as Minister of Health and dealing with SZV, I realized that we have a population that is accustomed, and I see we have a lot of GPs in here, that is goes to the doctor's office and walk out with a bag of medicine. And that's a customary, and that makes them feel good. You just look around the house and it's just a bunch of medicine that they take continuously. And that is why it's important when you see antibiotics, they give you a specific amount of days to take these antibiotics. And and we abuse it. We take it, we stop, and we decide to go and continue. So this is a very, very, very good, interesting seminar, very good program. And as we notice the World AMR Week, better known as WOW, I would like to thank you for having me here as your Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor. It is definitely an honor, and I look forward that all the stakeholders in this building can come forward with some fruitful information that would help us protect our public, not only in St. Martin, but as far as we can reach.
Guest speakers for the evening were Dr. Kalkidan Bekele, Dr. Wando Kai Matoe, pharmacologist, Sabine Vollerbroek and local pharmacist, Enko Sazana Ellis, social worker and artist.
So what happened to our patients most of the time? We are so caught up with daily life, with multiple jobs. I have patients come in and say, Doc, tomorrow I have to feel better. It's a must. You got to give me some antibiotics, give me any prescription you want, but I got to feel better tomorrow. And how do we do that? It's just so difficult. So we need to emphasize that that falls under individual. What else individual can do? Prevent infections. The same thing, COVID taught us so many things. So from hygiene, washing hands, if you have a flu, you may have to stay home and wear mask, look at the guidelines and so on. This is what individual can do. What can healthcare provider do? We can do. We need to provide to our patients a safe, clean environment. So maintain our clinics properly, safe, free of infection. Again, COVID taught us a lot. Keep all the instruments, everything hygienic, have more cleaning, have more venting, have more all these things. I personally, I like a lot of appointments for one of these purposes. So I do very early, especially the vulnerable ones, elderly patients and so on, and then later down. And I avoid crowd in the waiting area. Key points that we need to pay attention to the individual, to the healthcare provider, and to the healthcare industry in general, which include the policy, the surveillance, the pharmacy, and again, all we cannot do anything by ourselves, but together we are able to come up stronger and address the issues better.
So, antimicrobial resistance is supposedly one of the top 10 health threats to the public in terms of where we are at today. And going forward, as you've heard from the other speakers, the previous speakers, it's going to be a much bigger problem. And by 2050, it's going to cost us. I'll show you some of the statistics. Okay? So the development of resistance in bugs is not just in humans. It's problematic in animals as well. And what we do, and one of the things that I was thinking the audience would comprise of would be lay people. And I wanted to address those as well, because a lot of the times people don't realize how their lifestyles, how they take things maybe so casually, can actually have long-term effects on not just our community, but worldwide. So the use of antimicrobials, of course, is prevalent when we are treating people who are sick, but we also have animals. Animals provide us food, and animals provide us companionship. Those animals get sick, and we are essentially in the same biome, we're in the same environment, we are doing a lot of things together with the animals. And then, of course, we do eat some of the animals. And when the animals are exposed to antimicrobials, we know that this year we reached a milestone in human population. Now we have 8 billion people in the world. Okay? So that is very significant. Why? Because with 8 billion people in the population continuing to increase, there's going to be a greater demand for food. How do we improve our food supplies? Well, one of the ways that we have done so, and we're continuing to do, is to make sure that when we are raising animals, animal husbandry, we use agents that are going to enhance their growth and to make sure that they're safe for public consumption. That means that we're also going to use antibiotics in animals. So there are consequences to everything that we do. Now, there is a lot of different sources of food, including fish. Fish farming has become very widespread. The other issue that I want to point out, and I'm not really going to follow what I've put on there, I like speaking like more naturally. And when we look at farming and animal husbandry and fish farming, fish live in water. We have actually dammed off areas of the ocean where we have fish farms. They are treated with antibiotics. Where do those antibiotics end up? In the water. They affect other animals, sea creatures that we consume as well. And we can actually pass resistance from animals to humans.
If we leave this situation unchecked, in 2050, scientists estimated that almost 10 million people will die worldwide every year. In comparison, in 2019, 864,000 people died, and 643,000 people died of malaria. Only use antibiotics when necessary. Take the antibiotic as prescribed. And if you have questions, don't hesitate, but call your doctor or your pharmacist with the questions.
For a lot of persons who are taking antibiotics, please finish it. Don't stop halfway like I did. You know, we always say you have to use wisdom, but my elders always say, or my parents always say you have to use common sense as well. So you combine both wisdom and common sense. I learned the hard way. And I can't blame no doctor, I can't blame no one. I take full responsibility. So for me, taking antibiotics meant at that time that I felt good, so I stopped. But now, this time, in these times, I know I have to finish my antibiotics. I'm still not a person who loves to take medication, trust me, because I love to go the natural way also. But you have to know the dosage of that as well. So you just can't say, oh, I'm going to take Bush and I'm going to worry with a doctor and I'm going to do that. No, it doesn't work that way either. So for me, it's really understanding my body, understanding what I can take, what I cannot take, when my body have too much or when my body don't have too much, but to really let my doctor know exactly how I am feeling. Because I can't go to the doctor having pain in my hand and tell him my feet is hurting me. It ain't gonna work. Because he's gonna give me medication for my feet and not for my hand. So we really have to be honest with ourselves and honest with the doctor. So for me, taking antibiotics was like a learning life experience, or a threatening life experience, as I would call it, because I learned that when you stop halfway in anything, it doesn't work to just complete the process.